to turn around, run up to the door, knock on the door. I just want to see what you look like. Can we have a conversation? I'd like to. Could we talk? And it hasn't happened. Anyway, back to the issue here, because we actually need to wrap up here in a few minutes. I will set no worthless thing before my eyes. I believe what that's calling us to do is to, as believers, recognize that we're created in the image of God. He made our minds, and that therefore we are to exercise discipline. So phronismos is the Greek term. It's a beautiful term. It doesn't exactly, it's sort of like some German words. It doesn't sound real nice, but sophronismos. Sound mind, discipline. There has to be a disciplined creation of standards of worldview that will allow you to then determine what is truly of worth and what is truly not of worth, what is worth less. I don't see a lot of people in much of what calls itself evangelicalism being challenged to think through that issue and to regularly pray that God would give them that kind of perspective. I don't see that happening a lot. And what I'm saying is it's vitally important. It's vitally important. And I think the more clearly we understand the central issues and what really matters, God's purpose in this world, the demonstration of the glory of the triune God, the proclamation of the gospel, that the gospel is the power of God unto salvation, that the church has been entrusted with the gospel, that we are to live in light of the gospel, we are to be gospel people, we are to seek sanctification, because the person who is walking in holiness is the person who is going to be in the best position to model and proclaim the gospel, to make application of the gospel within family, within society, focused upon the central issues. The more we're focused upon the central issues, the less likely it is that we will get off into the weeds on things that don't matter. And that doesn't mean that we don't debate issues of difference between us. If you feel that something really impacts the practice of the church, the health of the church, fine, be willing to debate it. But why can't we recognize that Paul wasn't Peter? Why can't we recognize that? Oh yeah, they're both held the same standard. Paul opposes Peter right in front of everybody and says, you are not walking straight in accordance with the truth of the gospel. Got it. But that was the gospel that was under discussion there. Do you really see Paul and Peter as clones of one another? They have different emphases. They have different audiences. It's very clear there were certain people that Paul would have been the best person to minister to them, and others that Peter would have been. It seems that for many people who would be a part of my audience, and hence are concerned about apologetics and things like that, we tend to lose balance. We lose balance because we demand that everybody look like us, and talk like us, act like us, and cross their T's and dot their I's just like us. And we don't allow Paul to be Paul and Peter to be Peter. And as a result, we end up very frequently slamming the door on sources that could be very beneficial to us. You can actually learn from people who don't believe everything that you believe exactly. Some of you just heard me say, stop being discerning. I didn't say that. I did not say that. But what I did say is there is a vast difference between discernment and prejudice. And the mature Christian will want to know what the difference between them is. So, just some thoughts that ended up wandering farther away from where I started than I imagined. But don't skip over these texts. You know, sometimes it's real easy to look at the psalmist saying these things and, the psalmist got up on the wrong side of the bed that morning or something along those lines. And no, he didn't. Oh, yeah, there's some tough stuff here because it goes on to say, whoever secretly slanders his neighbor, him I will destroy. Well, David had the power to do that kind of stuff, you know. No one who has a haughty look and an arrogant heart will I endure. And it's really easy to go, well, look what David did. In other words, no matter how high the standard, we always need grace because we're always going to fall. This isn't a work salvation system. This isn't a grounding for some kind of Pharisaical attitude. My eyes shall be upon the faithful of the land, that they may dwell with me. He who walks in a blameless way is the one who will minister to me. He who practices deceit shall not dwell within my house. These are the words of God. Every morning I will destroy all the wicked of the land, so as to cut off from the city of the Lord all those who do iniquity. You know, this is the godly king seeking to bring godliness to a covenanted nation. And what it tells us is holiness is a good thing. Holiness is a good thing. Don't let people do the Puritan, making the Puritans sound bad to you. Holiness is a good thing. But holiness without a recognition of one's own redeemed state always leads to either a personal piety or to Pharisaism. Always got to be a balance. There's always got to be a balance. Hey, before we run out of time, can I talk to you about next year? Next year. Can I talk to you about almost next month? Sorry. We still need to raise a lot of funds to get to South Africa and to England. I think I need to look this up. Let me see. Okay, it should be right here. Here it is. Oops! I need to let Rudolph know. I put Tuesday. I thought that I made that mistake. I'm going to keep that on the screen so I can type to him afterwards. Lord willing, on Thursday, the only way we can have Rudolph on